Discover how a homeless woman impacted a millionaire's 8-year-old daughter in a heartwarming way. Sarah stood in the bustling kitchen of the shelter, her hands moving with practiced grace as she stirred a large pot of stew. The rich aroma wafted through the air, mingling with the soft chatter of her peers. Every bowl she filled held more than just food. It carried warmth, belonging, and a dash of hope. Just outside, the cold streets of Chicago lay like a blank canvas, filled with the stories of each soul wandering by. Each day was a struggle, but Sarah, a resilient woman with untamed hair and a heart of gold, found strength in the simple act of serving others. Meanwhile, in a gleaming penthouse above the chaos, 8-year-old Lily gazed out at the sprawling city. The skyline cast shadows over her loneliness, leaving her feeling like an irreplaceable puzzle piece where the picture just didn't fit anymore. Her father, Tom, a millionaire businessman, spent long nights wrapped up in meetings and endless calls, oblivious to his daughter's quiet suffering. Wealth filled their home, but it wrapped Lily in isolation, a heavy blanket she couldn't shake off. One day at school, a project ignited a spark of curiosity in Lily. The assignment was to explore community service, and as fate would have it, Mrs. Thompson planned a visit to the shelter where Sarah worked. A rush of excitement bubbled in Lily as she anticipated stepping into a world she often glimpsed but never understood. When they arrived, Sarah stood with her sleeves rolled up, her smile illuminating the room brighter than the overhead lights. As Lily watched Sarah serve the warm meals with a tender touch, her heart raced. This wasn't just about soup and bread, it was about connection, compassion, and resilience. For the first time, Lily questioned the privilege that filled her life to the brim, mulling over what truly mattered. Meanwhile, Tom received word of Lily's outing, and scoffing at the idea, he shrugged it off. "Why waste time on the less fortunate when we have everything?" he said, dismissing the importance of social responsibility. But beneath his polished facade, a rift began to widen, a distance between him and Lily that echoed loudly in their gilded cage. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days passed, the news of Sarah's declining health rippled through the community. Lily felt a tightness in her chest, an urgency to help, an ache to act. How could someone so vibrant become distant? Her bond with Sarah had only just begun, but it ignited something fierce in her, a flicker of empathy that she desperately wanted to nurture. And Tom? As he scrutinized the headlines in his office, the weight of his indifference pressed down on his heart like an anchor. Would he continue to swim in his sea of success, or would he finally dive deep into the turbulent waters of responsibility? The moment of truth loomed before them all, connected by a thread of urgency that was painfully palpable. Lily's heart raced, her determination solidified. Could the shelter's warmth extend beyond its walls? Would her father's cold exterior finally break, revealing the man beneath the facade? In this moment of desperation, all eyes turned to the healing power of compassion, teetering on the brink of transformation or betrayal. Could love bridge the growing chasm between them, or were they destined to remain apart in their separate worlds? Lily barely slept that night. Thoughts swirled in her mind, a chaotic mix of concern for Sarah and a deep yearning to do something meaningful. Her small hands clutched the blankets tightly. She knew she had to act, to reach out. But how could a girl like her make a difference in a world so big, so overwhelming? The next morning, she made a plan. Climbing out of bed, she tiptoed into the kitchen, heart pounding. She gathered ingredients from their pantry, canned goods, rice, and leftover vegetables. Lily remembered Sarah saying how the shelter always needed supplies. If she could collect food, maybe it would help. Her mind raced as she imagined faces lighting up, just like Sarah's when she served that stew. In her excitement, she suddenly knocked over a glass jar. It shattered on the floor, sending shards skittering across the polished surface. Panic surged through her, but in the chaos, her father appeared, wearing a suit and a weary expression. "Lily, what is going on?" Tom asked, kneeling down to gather the pieces. I'm just trying to help," she stammered, feeling smaller than usual under his gaze. He frowned slightly. "Help? You mean playing around with food?" He understand. He saw it only as a mess. "No, I want to gather food for the shelter. For Sarah." Her voice rose with fervor, surprising even her. Tom's brow furrowed in confusion. "Sarah? Who is that?" Lily hesitated, searching for the right words. How could she describe the warmth and strength Sarah radiated? "She's a lady at the shelter. She helps people. I want to help her back." For a moment, Tom was quiet. The familiar voice of cold logic reared its head, ready to dismiss her enthusiasm. But something flickered in his eyes. It was fleeting, but Lily caught it an inkling of curiosity. "Why don't you tell me more?" "Maybe we can do this together," he said slowly, as if weighing the idea. The flickering flame of hope in Lily suddenly grew brighter. "Really? You want to help?" "I suppose so," Tom replied, straightening his tie. The concept of giving back was foreign to him, yet something compelled him to entertain his daughter's passion. With that small twist, the day began to take shape. As they pieced together their plan, Lily envisioned a delivery of support, a tangible symbol of connection not only to Sarah but also to those who lived in a world that had felt distant for far too long. At the shelter, Sarah felt the joy of coming back together with her community despite her illness. However, she couldn't shake the sense of urgency that lingered. Her health was slipping, but her spirit burned bright. The smiles and gratefulness that surrounded her made each moment feel like a treasure. As Lily and Tom prepared their food drive, a striking realization hit them both. They were on the brink of a deeper transformation than either had imagined. Every donation felt like a brick laying a new foundation for connection, for understanding, for healing. But would they follow through? With uncertainties swirling and emotions high, each of them had their own battle to fight. Would Tom choose to embrace this new path? And could Lily reach deep enough into her young heart to show her father just how powerful compassion could be? As they moved closer to the day of the food drive, the weight of their decisions pressed against them all. Would their attempts to connect with Sarah and the shelter's residents fill the emptiness surrounding their lives? Or would they retreat back into the shadows once again, afraid of the light? The answer beckoned just out of reach, tempting them to chase after it. Lily woke up the next morning with a sense of purpose. Today was the day they would kick off their food drive. She rushed through breakfast, buzzing with excitement. Each bite of toast felt like a step closer to making a difference. Tom, unusually silent, seemed lost in his thoughts as he sipped his coffee. His expression was unreadable, but Lily remained hopeful. "You ready?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "Yeah, I guess so," Tom replied, glancing at his watch. "We have a lot to do." They packed up boxes with the food Lily had gathered. Canned beans, pasta, rice, and the last of the wilted carrots. To her, it felt like a feast, a renewal of sorts. She imagined Sarah's grateful smile as they would drop off the supplies. Her heart swelled with an innocence that somehow clashed with the weight of urgency hanging over them. As they loaded the car, Lily took a deep breath. The sun was bright, casting long shadows, and there was a soft breeze in the air. It felt like a good omen, a promise of something beautiful. As they drove, Lily couldn't help but steal glances at her father. He seemed distracted, eyes fixed on the road. Was he thinking about what they were doing, about Sarah? "Dad," she said, her voice cracking slightly. "Are you okay?" He turned to her, a hint of a smile breaking through. "Yeah, just feeling a little overwhelmed. It's new to me, all this, helping out." Lily nodded, understanding his struggle. She was new to this too, but the thrill of possibility outweighed any fear. "It's going to be good. We're going to help so many people," she reassured him. Her words seemed to give him a little lift, and he brightened slightly. "I hope you're right. We'll see what happens." When they finally reached the shelter, Lily observed a crowd of people gathered outside, their faces a mixture of expectancy and trepidation. As they approached, she could hear snippets of conversations filled with laughter and hope. Here we go. Tom exhaled, parking the car, but his nervousness lingered as he looked at the scene before them. Lily stepped out, drumming her fingers against the side of the car. Let us get this stuff inside, she chirped, trying to push away the worry that loomed in the pit of her stomach. Together, they unloaded boxes, and with each step toward the entrance, Lily felt a wave of determination wash over her. The bright murals that decorated the walls of the shelter welcomed her as if encouraging her mission. Hi there, a cheerful voice called out. It was Sarah, looking vibrant despite her illness. She radiated warmth and gratitude as she approached them. What do you have for us? Lily's heart raced. We brought food. For everyone. Thank you so much, sweet girl. Sarah knelt down, her eyes shining. Your kindness means the world. As she spoke, Tom watched, completely caught off guard. Witnessing the connection between Sarah and Lily shifted something inside him. He stepped forward, wanting to contribute, to be part of this moment. But a wave of emotion washed over him. A past life that felt distant suddenly pulled at his heart. In that instant, the air thickened with unspoken feelings. Lily sensed it too. Something deep was happening. It wasn't just food they had brought, it was a bridge being built. A connection forming beyond their small family, reaching out toward the world. As they interacted, they didn't just deliver supplies, they exchanged hope, compassion, and a new path forward. But little did they know, this was only the beginning. An unexpected challenge loomed ahead, one that would test their resolve, their courage, and their bond as a family. Would they be able to embrace it, or would fear hold them back once more? The next chapter was waiting just beyond the horizon. The moment stretched as Sarah looked up at Lily and Tom, her eyes full of gratitude. The crowd began to take notice of the food, and whispers of excitement rippled through the gathered people. Lily felt a surge of pride rushing through her veins. Let us set everything up, Lily declared, breaking the spell. She began to organize the boxes, eager to bring everyone into the experience. Each can of food, each bag of rice, felt like a beacon of hope. Tom joined her, and they worked side by side, redistributing supplies and chatting with the curious faces that surrounded them. Thank you. You're all wonderful, a woman with a warm smile said as she hugged her child close, transporting the little one's wide-eyed wonder to Lily. Tom found a moment to breathe, stepping back for just a second. He looked at Lily's animated face, her spirit bright with enthusiasm, and something inside him softened. You know, I was really worried, he confessed quietly to himself, more than to his daughter. What if this wasn't enough? Lily turned, catching the tail end of his thoughts. It is enough, Dad. Even one meal changes things. They exchanged a knowing glance that spoke volumes. A connection was forming between them, one fueled by a shared mission. As the shelter staff began to distribute the food, a low hum of gratitude enveloped the space. Conversations flowed, a little laughter, stories shared, and an unexpected sense of community blossomed. Lily's heart raced as she moved from one group to another, her spirit buoyed by smiles and gratitude. Suddenly, she spotted her friend Mia standing at the far end, balancing a plate piled high with food. Hey, you made it, she shouted, running over. Of course. I wouldn't miss it, Mia replied, glancing at the food table. Wow, this is incredible. Just then, a shiver of tension sliced through the warmth. A man stumbled in through the doorway. He appeared distraught, his clothes tattered and eyes darting around as if unsure where he was. His entrance disrupted the cozy sense of camaraderie. Hey there, Tom said gently, stepping forward. Can I help you? The man hesitated, caught between pride and desperation. I just need a bite to eat, he mumbled, his voice barely above a whisper. Lily and Mia shared a glance. This moment felt heavy, the weight of reality crashing against the joy they had found moments before. Mia whispered, we should help him. Lily nodded, her heart racing. They reached out in unison, offering him a plate and a warm smile. You can have as much as you want, Lily said, her voice firm yet forgiving. The man's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, he choked out, his voice breaking. In that moment, everything shifted again. Lily realized that each act of kindness, no matter how small, could ripple out and touch countless lives. As the meal continued, they all chatted and laughed, sharing stories, hopes, and fears. The initial tense aura dissipated, replaced with a genuine embrace of humanity that felt tangible in the air. But just when it appeared that the day would end on this beautiful note, they overheard a conversation nearby. "You heard about the funding cuts?" A member of the shelter's staff said softly to a colleague. "We might not make it to the year's end." Lily's heart sank. What they had done felt meaningful, yet uncertainty hung over them like a storm cloud. It struck her hard this wasn't just a one-time event. It was the beginning of something that could easily slip away. "Dad," she whispered, gripping his arm. "We can't let this happen. We have to do more." Tom looked down at her, uncertainty still clouding his mind. But he saw the conviction in her eyes. "What if," he murmured, contemplating the weight of her words, "we actually tried to make it last?" The spark was lit, and a fire ignited within them both. They knew what needed to be done now wasn't just about food. It was about building something sustainable. But would they have the courage to fight for it? What was next? Only time would tell. The thoughts buzzed in Lily's mind as she and Tom stepped aside from the cheerful crowd, their hearts heavy with the weight of reality. The festive sounds of laughter and chatter felt distant, almost muffled. There was so much more to do. "Dad, we've got to think of a plan," Lily urged, her gaze intense. She saw the hint of doubt still lingering in his eyes, but also a flicker of hope. "What if we had regular meals here? We could bring in more people, more food." Tom rubbed his chin, considering this. "It sounds good, but how do we find the resources? Grant applications, community outreach, maybe even a fundraiser." Lily's voice was filled with newfound determination. The ideas flowed faster than she could articulate them. "We could involve the schools, local businesses, everyone. People want to help, they just need to know how." Just then, the man they had helped earlier approached. His eyes were still wet, grounding the moment in something deeply real. "I didn't get your names," he said, wiping his face with the back of his hand. "I'm Dave." "Lily," she said, introducing herself and nodding toward her father. "This is Tom." "Thank you for the food," Dave said, voice trembling slightly. "It feels good to be cared for, to belong, you know?" Lily felt a lump forming in her throat. This wasn't just about feeding people, it was about dignity, hope, and connection. "We want to do more, Dave," she said earnestly. "We need to provide this space regularly. We're hoping to build something real here." He looked at her, eyes glimmering with something she couldn't quite define. "I can help," he offered quietly. "Really?" Tom asked, eyebrows raised. "Yeah," Dave nodded, a hint of a smile breaking through the shadows. "I've been through this before. I know where to go for help." Lily's heart soared. "You mean you'd work with us?" "Sure, if you think I can be of use," he replied, his voice steadying. Tom exchanged a glance with Lily. Her eyes sparkled with the possibility of what could be. "Absolutely. Every voice matters," Tom said, warmth seeping into his tone. As the afternoon waned, they brainstormed ideas together, sketching outlines for community events, outreach programs, and how to leverage their resources. With each suggestion bounced back and forth, the shadows began to lift. More people drifted in, curious about the buzz, and Lily felt an infectious energy spreading, pulling them all together. They gathered in small circles, sharing thoughts, hopes, and dreams. It was beautiful. But just as the excitement swelled, Lily spotted someone lurking at the edge of the group. A woman, wild-haired and disheveled, watched them with wary eyes. She held a tattered bag close, shifting uncomfortably as if the warmth of the gathering both beckoned and terrified her. "Hey!" Lily exclaimed, striding over. "You're welcome to join us." The woman's gaze flickered with apprehension. I don't belong here." Lily reached out, determination radiating from her. "What is your name?" As the woman hesitated, the brief silence felt like a prolonged heartbeat. Would she take that step into connection? Or would fear hold her back? Lily's heart raced. She sensed that in this moment lay another possibility. Another voice waiting to be heard. The crowd fell silent, their attention now focused on the woman standing alone. What would she say? Would she break through the barrier and find what Dave had found? Lily could feel the anxiety building, a tension thick in the air. The question hung there, poised to change everything in an instant. The woman's hesitation felt heavy. Lily swallowed, the anticipation palpable. There was something about the woman's weary eyes, deep set with untold stories. And just then, the slightest tremor in her voice broke the silence. "I'm Lisa." Lily's heart skipped. "Lisa," she repeated softly, as if saying her name could bridge the gap. "You're welcome here, just like everyone else. We're all trying to find a place where we belong." Lisa's gaze darted from Lily's open face to the encircling crowd. For a moment, vulnerability crept across her features. "I don't know if I can," she whispered, voice fragile with uncertainty. "Why don't you start by sharing what's on your mind?" Tom encouraged, stepping closer. His presence felt calming, grounding Lisa in the moment. Slowly, Lisa's shoulders seemed to ease. "I lost everything family, home it's hard." She clenched her bag tighter like it was her last connection to the past. "I come here, but it's just so overwhelming. I don't want to disturb anyone." Dave stepped forward, acknowledging her pain. "I get that, Lisa. You're not alone in this. We've all got stories, and sharing helps heal." Lily felt like the breath had been knocked from her. She glanced at her father, who nodded encouragingly in solidarity. This was the moment of truth for Lisa, a moment to choose connection over fear. "Maybe I could help cook?" Lisa offered, voice barely above a whisper. "I used to love cooking for my kids." "Yes!" Lily's enthusiasm burst from her like sunlight piercing through clouds. "That's perfect. We could use your skills to start our meals. You'd be a huge part of this, Lisa." The crowd murmured with hope and excitement, and Lisa's cheeks flushed with warmth, a flicker of possibility igniting in her tired eyes. But just as quickly, doubt danced back across her face. "Really? You wouldn't mind?" "Of course not." Tom chimed in, his voice firm and supportive. "We need each other more than we think. You bring experience and heart." Lily felt her spirit lifting. This meeting was changing lives, and she could almost see the fragile threads of community weaving together right in front of her. "Okay," Lisa took a deep breath, the corners of her mouth twitching upward. "I'd like to try." Cheers erupted from the gathered crowd, a mix of excitement and relief. Lily felt a wave of joy wash over her, knowing they had just crossed a pivotal threshold. This moment would resonate far beyond what they could imagine. As the chatter resumed, the warmth of togetherness surged. Lily looked around at the faces worn yet hopeful. The evening sun cast a golden glow, illuminating the stark reality and the burgeoning future in equal measure. "Let us plan a dinner for next week," Lily suggested, her voice ringing with determination as she leaned into her growing responsibility. "We can even invite the neighborhood. With Lisa's cooking, it'll be special." "Absolutely," Dave replied, sharing in her excitement. But then, a shadow crossed his face. "But what if people don't show up?" A hush fell over the group. Lily felt her heart race again, uncertainty creeping in. Doubt threatened to smother their progress. What if they worked so hard only for it to fall flat? Before she could voice her worry, Lisa spoke with a surprising steadiness. "If we reach out, even just one person at a time, they'll come. They'll want to feel this too." With her words, the thread between them tightened further, wrapping each heart in courage. But in the back of Lily's mind, another question lingered. What if their combined light shone too brightly, exposing their weaknesses along with their strengths? The weight of their shared journey pressed on her, but for now, hope filled the air. Each heartbeat echoed the rhythm of possibility. As laughter trickled and plans were made, a pressing thought loomed: how far could this go? And would their newfound bond be enough to weather the challenges ahead? In this fragile moment of connection, uncertainty coiled like an unseen serpent, ready to strike. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows that danced along the walls of the small community center, the air filled with anticipation. The soft sounds of laughter mingled with quiet conversations as Lily and her group settled into a rhythm, the excitement of planning a gathering washing over them like a warm breeze. Yet, despite the newfound enthusiasm crackling in the air, Lily couldn't shake off the prickling doubt that had settled at the base of her stomach. She stole a glance at Lisa, who was now animatedly speaking with Dave about her favorite recipes. Watching Lisa's face light up, her eyes sparkling with the promise of sharing something special, made Lily's heart flutter with hope. "Hey, what are you thinking?" Tom's voice broke through Lily's reverie, his face genuine, concern etched into his features. It was as if he recognized the way her mind was swirling. "You seem a million miles away. I hope this really works. I mean, what if we invite everyone and no one shows up?" Lily admitted, her voice trembling. "What if we put ourselves out there and it all falls apart?" Tom chuckled softly, trying to lift the weight hanging on her shoulders. "You know, it's really about the effort. You've already done that. And besides, it's not just about the number of people who come, it's about showing that we're here for each other." His words resonated with Lily. Her father had always said that even a small gathering could create ripples of change, and she could feel that energy building within herself. "You're right. This has to matter to someone out there." The group spent the next hour brainstorming every detail, the excitement building like a tightly wound spring. There were discussions about decorations, games, and, of course, Lisa's delicious recipes. Every suggestion sparked laughter and creativity, bonding them further, but there was still a lingering question of fear that crept in during quiet moments. What if they opened their doors and faced rejection instead of connection? As the day of the dinner approached, Lily began to feel the weight of her responsibility. She stood in front of the mirror one evening, brushing her hair, and couldn't help but think about the faces she hoped to see at the dinner. She wanted a real change, not just for herself but for everyone. This was about building something that mattered, a real community. Lisa's voice echoed in her mind. "If we reach out, they'll come." Those words lingered like a beacon of hope, and Lily made a decision. She grabbed her phone and began to text friends, neighbors, even acquaintances she had only met in passing. It felt like an invitation to something bigger than herself. Dinner at the community center. Everyone's welcome. Let us gather and share a meal together. Let us see what's possible. The responses rolled in, some enthusiastic, some uncertain. But it was the message from Mrs. Callahan, the woman from 2 doors down, that made Lily's heart leap. "I'll be there, Lily. I miss feeling connected." As she read the words, a smile spread across her face. Every reply felt like that thread of community growing stronger, woven with every interaction, every acceptance. The day of the dinner arrived, with a storm brewing overhead. Dark clouds rolled in, and as rain pounded against the windows, doubt threatened to return. But Lily held her ground. The warmth inside the community center felt like home, even amidst the storm outside. Lisa's presence radiated assurance, and each member carried their own fears and hopes within them. As the clock ticked closer to the starting time, the door creaked open. Could it really be? And just like that, as shadows briefly danced in the doorway, an unexpected figure stepped inside, drenched but determined, shaking off the rain like they were shaking off the weight of the world. "Is this the place where I can belong?" Lily's heart raced. What had she hoped for? And what unexpected possibilities awaited them? Lily's breath caught in her throat. The figure that had stepped inside was a woman, her hair matted against her forehead, clothes dripping with rain, yet her stance radiated determination. It felt like a small miracle, a lifeline thrown into the storm that raged outside. "Welcome. Of course you belong," Lily exclaimed, her voice trembling with an embrace of warmth. She could see other heads turn, expressions shifting from surprise to something softer. Curiosity mingled with concern in the air. "What is your name?" someone asked, breaking the tension. "Sarah," the woman replied, her voice hoarse but steady, like a comforting hand pressed against Lily's heart. "I saw the lights and thought, maybe there's something waiting for me." Lily glanced around, sensing how the group was taking her in, eyes wide, whispers swirling. This was the connection they had aimed to create, the shared humanity they all craved, no matter how different their walks of life. "Come on in, Sarah," Lisa chimed in, moving to grab a towel from the supply closet in the corner. "You must be freezing." Lily felt her heart swell. The atmosphere shifted as Sarah stepped further into the warmth of the room. She was no longer just a stranger. She was an integral thread in this fabric of acceptance they were all weaving. As laughter began to mix with the smell of simmering dishes, Sarah relaxed, her shoulders dropping from their tense posture. She glanced at the preparations, a twinkle of wonder in her eye. "It smells fantastic in here." "What cooking?" "Just a few of Lisa's recipes," Tom said, grinning as he pointed to the array of colorful dishes laid out on the long tables. "Come, help yourself. We'd love to have you join us." The storm outside rumbled, but inside, warmth wrapped around them like a hug. As the dinner went on, laughter carried away their earlier fears. People began gathering around Sarah, eager to learn her story. "I lost my job a few months ago," she began slowly, and things spiraled down from there. Her eyes glimmered with unshed tears, but also with strength. "But tonight I don't even know how to describe it. This connection. It's like I'm home." Lily exchanged glances with Lisa and Tom. This was exactly the kind of spirit they had hoped to invite in a reminder of what they could accomplish together. Just as she was about to share her thoughts, Sarah's gaze drifted to a corner at the back of the room, where a little girl sat, observing the scene with wide eyes. "Hey there, sweetheart," Sarah said, kneeling down to meet the girl's gaze. "What is your name?" "Annie," the girl whispered, and Lily's heart squeezed. Annie was shy, a girl who often slipped between the cracks. In this moment, she seemed captivated, curiosity gleaming like a polished stone in her dark eyes. "Annie," Sarah said softly, "would you like to help me put together some plates?" "I'd love to have a little assistant." Annie nodded, her shy smile blossoming into something brighter as she approached Sarah. The two began to chat quietly as they worked, an unexpected bond forming before Lily's eyes. Watching them reminded Lily of the power of kindness. It was as if Sarah had walked in and effortlessly illuminated a corner they didn't even know was dim. "I didn't expect this." Tom leaned close to Lily, his eyes warm with appreciation. "It's wonderful to see connections forming." Lily took a deep breath, feeling the edges of her doubts dissolve in the laughter that filled the room. Just as anticipation buzzed in the air, a sudden crash of thunder pulled everyone's attention. "I'm scared," Annie cried out, and in an instant, Sarah was beside her, arms wrapped protectively around the small girl. "It's all right, Annie. Thunder is just the sky rumbling. We're safe here together," she soothed, her voice gentle yet strong. Lily couldn't help but feel that the night had transformed into something extraordinary. It wasn't just about a dinner, it was a new beginning, a chance to build bridges through the shared warmth of their experiences. But as the crowd settled, a deep whisper echoed through her mind. What if the community they sought was just the start? What if Sarah's story could spark more connections, even unimagined ones? In that very breath, a new realization washed over Lily. They weren't just building a community, they were igniting a movement. And as she watched Sarah and Annie share an incredible moment, she wondered about the ripple effect of this night. What more could unfold? Just then, the door creaked open again, and another figure entered, this time a young boy, his eyes darting in search of familiar faces. Who else might be stepping into their lives? The door swung wider, revealing a boy no older than 8. His clothes were damp, clinging to him as if they had been baptized by the rain. A tremor of uncertainty stirred in the room, yet the warmth radiating from the gathering seemed to reach out to him. "Hey there," Lily called out, her voice filled with encouragement. "What is your name?" "Lucas," he replied, glancing up with wide eyes that reflected both hope and fear. "Come on in, Lucas. You're just in time for dinner," Tom said, beckoning him inside as if welcoming home a long-separated friend. Without a word, Lucas took a tentative step across the threshold, crossing into the warmth that felt alien yet inviting all at once. His eyes wandered around the room, taking in the new faces, amazed at the laughter and chatter. He moved with an awkwardness that spoke volumes of the walls he had built around himself. "Want to help us set the table?" Sarah suggested, her voice still soft from her earlier encounter with Annie. She knelt down, ready to meet Lucas at his level. "I could use another hand," Lucas's eyes brightened, and for a fleeting moment, it seemed the heaviness around him lifted. He nodded, moving closer to Sarah, who gave him a reassuring smile. Annie, still wrapped in the comfort of Sarah's presence, joined him. "We can put the forks and spoons here," she offered, excited to share her newfound role with her new friend. The two began chatting about their favorite foods, finding solace in the simple act of arranging the table. Lily watched from a distance, filled with an overwhelming sense of purpose. There was something magical about how quickly connections formed, how people's insecurities melted away in the face of kindness. It drove her to reflect on her own journey, on the roots of her strength. The room was buzzing with laughter, the tension of the storm outside seemingly forgotten. As Sarah continued to interact with both children, it was evident that she had a gift for bridging gaps, for creating a space where they felt safe enough to open up. "Lucas," Sarah called, attracting the boy's attention. "Why did you come here tonight?" He hesitated, biting his lip as if weighing his words, then finally said, I didn't want to be alone anymore." A hush fell over the room, the sincerity of his statement echoing among the gathered group. Lily felt a tear slip down her cheek, but felt no urge to wipe it away. Tears of joy and empathy flowed freely as everyone absorbed the weight of the boy's vulnerability. "I think we all feel that way sometimes," Sarah replied gently. "You're not alone here. We're a family now." The connection lingered in the air, binding them closer together. Each heart in that room felt a new pulse of hope, of shared lives intertwined in ways they never thought possible. And just as the warmth began to swell like a life force, the storm outside howled even louder, the wind thrashing against the windows like a frantic heartbeat. The children flinched, their eyes darting around the room. "I'm scared," Lucas whimpered, breaking the spell of unity. Instantly, Sarah knelt down, pulling him close, mirroring what she had done with Annie. "When the storm gets loud, we just breathe together," she said, a calmness in her voice. "Let us count the beats of our hearts instead." Lily caught the eyes of Tom and Lisa, the beauty of the moment igniting a fire within her. The storm outside was no match for what they were building inside. But as laughter slowly returned, as Lucas and Annie began to imitate Sarah's calming breaths, Lily felt a flutter of uncertainty. What if this bond could be tested? What if their newfound connection faced challenges they couldn't foresee? Just then, the door creaked open again, and a shadowy figure appeared, silhouetted against the flickering glow of the lights. The familiar tension of worry gripped Lily's chest again as she wondered who was coming into their lives now. As the figure stepped into the light, Lily held her breath. The man looked worn, life etched into the corners of his eyes. He placed his hand on the doorframe, steadying himself against the storm outside. Sarah's gaze flicked up, instinctively welcoming, like a lighthouse guiding a weary ship to shore. "Is this where I can join?" he asked, his voice barely breaking above the rumble of thunder. A wave of warmth enveloped the room, pulling every fearful heart closer. "Absolutely," Lily said, her voice filled with compassion. "Welcome." The man hesitated, but as he stepped further in, letting the door swing shut behind him, the weight of isolation began to lift. "I'm Mark," he introduced himself, looking around at the gathering of familiar faces, people who had all come together seeking connection. "Mark," Sarah exclaimed, moving towards him. "We're so glad you're here. Join us. We're just starting dinner." He took a step inside, and just like that, another connection was forged, another piece of the community puzzle clicked into place. As Mark joined the group, he exchanged smiles and laughter, and a sense that he belonged began to settle over him. While everyone mingled, Lily caught her father's eye. Tom smiled, real joy lighting up his face. He was witnessing the transformation of what had once only been a faint hope, one that seemed so distant from their penthouse existence. This wasn't merely charity, it was an awakening, a dawning of a new kind of family born from shared struggles. "Dad," Lily whispered, pulling him closer. "Look at everyone. This is only the beginning." "Yes," Tom replied, his voice laced with awe. "I see it now, Lily. You were right all along." Emboldened, Lily turned towards the crowd. All right, everyone. Gather round. We have an announcement to make. The room quieted, all eyes focused on her. Let us not just stop here. We're starting something incredible today. Her voice rang with passion. We're going to host dinner every week. A place for anyone who needs comfort and companionship, something they can always count on. A ripple of shocked chatter rolled through the gathered crowd, excitement bubbling at the prospect of a consistent gathering. But we need your help. Lily continued, a fire igniting within her. We can't do it alone. Together, we can make this real. Cheers erupted, and people nodded in agreement, offering their ideas, their support. Hands shot up, declaring cooking assistance, leading activities, setting up and spreading the word to friends and neighbors. Each suggestion added another layer to the connection they were forging. As laughter filled the air again, Sarah turned to Lily, her eyes glistening. You've ignited something amazing here. I feel like magic is alive tonight. We're weaving a new community fabric, one thread at a time. Lily's smile brightened. We've done this together. Each face here matters. Everyone can fit in this circle. As the night progressed, glances of gratitude bounced between them like sparks in the dark. Together, Mark, Sarah, Lisa, Tom, Lily, Annie, and Lucas, each representing different lives woven together, shared stories forged through struggle and triumph, felt a lightness that transcended their challenges. And just as the final bits of food were served, a mother rushed in with her two small children, rain soaking their clothes. Are we too late? She called, worry cracking her voice. Never. Lily shouted back, light flooding her heart. Welcome. Come join us. That night would mark the turning point. It wasn't just meals they were sharing, but hope, a sense of family, a longing finally fulfilled. With each new face that came through that door, the storm outside faded, and inside, the warmth of belonging enveloped them all. As the dinner wrapped, handshakes and hugs flying around, a sense of promise filled the air. They weren't just fighting individual battles anymore. They were armed with companionship, a community ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. Standing amidst newfound friends, Lily's heart swelled with pride. They had come a long way, a path illuminated not by the spotlight of wealth, but by the steady glow of compassion. In that moment, holding hands with Sarah, Annie, and Lucas, she whispered, "This is just the beginning. We have so much more to do." And as everyone laughed and shared stories, it was easy to believe that together, they could weather any storm. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support is everything. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of standing together and growing this community.